So ho ho ho. Very short video this time about the plugin from Codeknobs. From Codeknobs, yes. He made a MIDI editor for the OB-6, my analog polysynth, the only one I own. Very proud about it. Anyway, because I'm used to work in a DAW, I wanted this plugin so I can move the knobs on the Oberheim, and all the data is sent to the DAW. For example, let's see here in the arpeggiator. Alright, it works in two directions, so when I move a slider here, it's moved. Yeah, you cannot see it on the synth, but you will hear the difference in the sound. Anyway, this video is not about explaining the stuff here. It's just for the MIDI sync, and the keyboard input. So when you don't need the keyboard input, you can load the plugin on a track, and the input can be the stereo input of your synth. The input can be the stereo output of your synth, of course. But when you want keyboard input, you select the keyboard input here, for example, and you oops. Oh, now I get it. Okay, that's for in a second. So I was just saying two tracks, one for the editor, one for the stereo out, and you need a program. It's called MIDI loop MIDI. Yes, there you go. In loop MIDI you can make as many digital MIDI cables. In fact, you can give them a name. I made two of them. One is loop MIDI port, the one I use for all kind of things. Today I made a second one, the OB-6 sync port. Now what you do is you go to options, you go to preferences, you go to MIDI devices, you go to the output devices, and you select OB-6 sync port. You enable it, and you send clock to the output. In that case, when you do that, Reaper is automatically sending clock messages to that port. And as you can see here in the preferences, when you select the OB-6 sync port 1 as an aux input clock port, the plugin knows where to listen to and send it to the OB-6. In my case, in Reaper, it's configured like the sync clock is only sent when your sequencer is playing. So let's play it. So what you hear now is like the sequencer in the analog synth that is activated, enabled when you press play. I disabled it now. When I play, let's activate the arpeggiator. So he's playing. Now the easiest way to see if it syncs is to change the BPM in the project. Change the BPM in the project to see if it works. Okay, that works. That's great. That's I don't know how he did it here, but I have some experience with the Mystery Island music plugins for my GP8000 and the MS2000 from Korg, and let's say he did not manage to implement that, but Codeknobs did very nicely indeed. Yeah, before I forget the input. So what I showed you now was for the sync, and now one more thing I did. Yeah, so normally I said the input is set to loop MIDI port. That was our general port. You select that one here in the aux output port. So the plugin is smart enough to know now that all MIDI note data that you play on the synth will go to the MIDI output port and then end up in this track. So let's see if we can make that work. Great. There was just no sound because the volume was down. Okay, see you guys next time.